we going?
Swimming!
Some bad hat, Harry.
It's a great white.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
1,100 men went into the water.
You son of a...
Hi everybody, it's Ross over at the Daily Jaws. Hope you're well. Today we are going to be attempting to do a commentary on Jaws: The Revenge. It's the first time I've ever done a commentary, and I've got someone with me to help me. This is Michael, who runs OCD DVD. Mike, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm alright. Tell us a bit about OCD DVD.
Basically, I have OCD and I collect a lot of movies.
Thanks, Mike. Mike is also my cousin, so there's going to be quite a lot of family banter going on. Now, me and Mike have had quite a few evenings watching just the worst possible movies, and he told me that he'd never actually seen Jaws: The Revenge. So this is going to be quite an experience for him. What I'm going to do is just set the scene for you a little bit, Michael, in terms of what we're actually about to witness. So, do you remember the movie True Lies of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the classic?
I do, yes.
Okay. There's a scene where Faisal, one of Schwarzenegger's assistants, is trying to explain the scale of a perfect mission to an absolute pooch screw on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Jaws: Revenge takes the concept of a pooch screw, and it's not even on the end of that scale. It's kind of like there with Pluto. That's how bad this film is. And bearing in mind, it comes from the cinematic perfection of Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen anything quite like it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Just to give you some figures, obviously we were users of IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, as we all are. Jaws, the original, on Rotten Tomatoes gets 98%. Jaws: Revenge, 0.
So I'm in for a good time.
This is just the polar opposite in terms of cinematic achievement. Okay, no one took this film seriously when they were making it. All right, it's pretty obvious. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of sort of reflection, just to give it some context. So hopefully you don't expect anything from this film.
Well, considering all I do is watch very bad movies, I'm really excited about this actually.
Well, this has been called the greatest comedy of 1987.
Right.
So I think what we're going to do, we're sort of going to dive in. So everybody, if you wanted to watch the movie along with our commentary, we're going to be pressing play now. Okay, so that's Universal. So we can see Universal Studios.
That was the best part of the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is one of the associations. This comes from the same studio. And there you go. You've got the classic opening underwater shot from the shark's point of view. That's as close as it gets. And then we see the man responsible for this travesty, Joseph Sargent.
Yeah, he's made some classics. I was just checking out IMDb.
What else has he made?
Let's just quickly go through this then.
So there's the first sort of mistake. For some reason we've got the point of view of the shark's fin. Sharks can't see above the ocean like that traditionally. Oh my god. And then back under the water we go. There's a dirty old tire. Mario Van Peebles is in this movie. He actually brings a bit of sort of character to this, believe it or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's been in, was it Heartbreak Ridge, which is pretty decent movie. He was in Gunman, which I remember with Christopher Lambert. So
Lynn Whitfield was one of my first crushes as well as a kid. She's gorgeous. Mitchell Anderson, we did an interview with him. He's a really, really nice guy. He actually runs a fresh food restaurant now out in Atlanta.
Okay.
And of course, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
This is going to be. I can't wait for you to see this.
The director of this has actually directed 92 films in total.
So he's had a lot of practice, and
he has directed. He directed, I think, part of Nightmares or director of Nightmares, which I've seen, which was sort of run-of-the-mill sort of horror anthology. So just going through a few other bits.
Now, what they've done with this movie is they've actually used the full John Williams sweep. This is the whole sort of Jaws theme. It's the first time I'd actually properly heard it used in a movie, and I think they use it just to extend the runtime, to be honest with you.
Right, okay.
Because this is only about 87 minutes long or whatever it is, and they're really dragging it out now. It's just like, get on with it. Yeah. So yeah, produced and directed. So Joseph Sargent had complete creative control of this film. And you're going to see where he goes with it.
Cannot wait. I like the water reference there. They're cooking fish.
Clever.
I like that. I think that's very good. Yeah.
I think that was an accident.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And there's Lorraine Gary returning, actually come out of retirement to make this movie. She hadn't made a movie for a long, long time.
Must have been hard times, I think.
Well, no, she was married to Sid Sheinberg, the guy that actually is the head of Universal at the time.
Oh, right, okay.
And basically said, like, please find a new way to kill the shark. So Joseph Sargent went, okay, cool. And they managed to talk Lorraine Gary to come back into it because she plays an integral part, as you're going to find out.
Okay, yeah, great. Is she the only link from the other films into this film, or?
Yes, in terms of cast, yeah. Well,
Okay.
actually, there's a couple of very quick glimpses of supporting characters. later
Right.
on. There's actually some pretty good acting there.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I thought, wow.
Yeah, that's probably as good as it gets in terms of the actual overall acting in this film.
Sometimes I actually wonder, do families actually act like that though? So we'll see.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
It's a Christmas setting.
Yeah, so this is set back on Amity Island
Okay.
at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And Sean is now, this is Sean Brody, this is the younger brother. He is now, I think he's actually the chief of police. So he's followed in his dad's footsteps.
Okay.
And Michael, the older brother, has become a marine biologist.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
convenient is that?
No. Yeah.
It's a real helpful plot device, that.
I'm glad that he chose that path. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
There he is. Did you see that picture up on the wall?
Yes, I saw it.
That was Chief Brody. This lady was in the original Jaws movie.
Okay.
And there was another couple of characters later on. Some more good
I see it.
acting coming up in a minute.
Was that a screenshot though, like from the film?
That
Or
was
was there
actually
like
one
a
of
publicity shot or
That was
something?
a publicity shot. Yeah,
Right,
they did,
okay.
yeah.
Because I've seen a few films sometimes where they've taken photos from previous movies,
Mm.
but they just look like still shots from the actual film that they've sort of just, tried to link in. So
Yeah.
Where's Lenny? Up to Ben Master's place. Cow tipping. Cow tipping? Thanks, kids can buy it. I can tip over sleeping cow. Without giving milk.
okay.
Okay, I'll take care of it. Deputy Brody will take care of it.
Deputy, sorry, he's a deputy.
Sorry, okay.
How long be late?
So do you think this film was the one that killed the franchise?
Yeah, I actually spoke to Carl Gottlieb about it. He was the screenwriter of the original Jaws, and I said, like, so what happened with the sequels? He goes, as long as they make money, they will make more. And Jaws 3D, the one set in the sort of water park, that kind of pushed the reality to a breaking point in terms of profits. And then they rattled this out, and it just killed the franchise.
Is this one filmed like long after the third one, or is it quite close together?
The third one was made in 1983, so this is about 4 years later.
So they had 4 years to sort this out.
Basically, yeah, they
Oh,
did 4
nice.
movies in 12 years.
Right.
And yeah, they absolutely killed it. They
So
absolutely
I was discussing with you earlier, if they were to redo Jaws, do you think they would do a direct sequel, or do you reckon they'll remake the first one? Who would you like to see in it? What would you change about it?
You know what? It's a real tough one. I get asked that a lot. I don't think they'd ever do a remake. I don't think they'd ever do that. I don't think Steven Spielberg would ever allow that. I think there's room for Jaws stories, like little subplots and stories around sort of different characters, things like that. Maybe some prequels, things like that. I think would be interested, or explore other parts of the island. So it doesn't necessarily have to be sort of geared around the shark. It could be just about the island and things like that. Casting wise, I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult. The casting question is normally about who would you recast as the main characters, which is very, very difficult to talk about because those other 3 characters are just so well cast and well acted. TV series wise, I guess it depends on what sort of direction they take the story, would determine kind of what kind of cast. Okay, so we're about to see the first attack.
Okay,
And this is a
this.
lesson in horrific editing.
Okay, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah.
The tension is already mounting.
I really felt sorry for this guy Mitchell actually, because a lot of the movie takes place in the Bahamas and he didn't get to see it. He was basically in a tank for about 3 weeks, wet. he got the short end of the stick. He really did. No, don't do that. Oh, here we go, Neil.
Oh, there you go. So the shark just sort of peered for 2 seconds up above the water and he didn't notice it. Okay, there we go. Wow. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the fact it took him like a minute to like actually discover that his arm's gone.
Yeah. And, but I love the artistic attempt at juxtaposition there, where you've got the beautiful carol singing and you've got this carnage going on just a couple of 100 feet away on the ocean. Oh, here we go again. Good night. Can you even tell what's going on right now?
Bit of shaky cam, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guy described
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Do you reckon they just like, just shake it about, no one notice?
Someone described it as if a quarterback had caught the camera and just threw it. This is basically what he had to do for 3 weeks, just sitting in the water. He loved it though. He was only about 20 at the time, I think it was.
If you just had your arm bitten off though, would that be the right way to react? Do you reckon, like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, why is he shouting help? Why not just get on the radio?
Yeah.
Because he's a policeman.
Yeah, well, that might help.
That's the first plot hole of many.
Yeah.
But basically that little cutscene where he's getting attacked, they actually spliced in footage from the Bahamas and there. So you've got daytime bright blue water and nighttime, and it doesn't work, Mike. We'll go through it later and I'll show you the slow motion. It's terrible.
I think that was her realisation of she's signed up for this film.
Yeah. This is a bit of a mope fest for the first 10-15 minutes of this movie, and then it just goes mental.
So she hadn't actually made a film for almost 10 years. She had, well, about 8 years. So
yeah, probably about that.
So, yeah.
There he is.
Halloween 2.
Halloween 2.
Halloween 2. Yeah.
Lance Guest. This is actually the same Brody house they filmed the original movie in. And some of these people are actually extras. Well, a couple of these people are actually in the original movie as well. But they all live on the island anyway, so that's why they were able to find
Right,
them.
okay. He's looking very grown up since I saw him in Halloween 2. He's got the sort of Bee Gees look going on, which I quite like.
It does look like the fourth BG, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sean is dead, Will he ever come back?
We'll talk about that some more later.
Would you like something to eat?
I had a hamburger on the plate.
We can do better than that. How would you like a funny bone sandwich? How was the airplane ride?
Good. The lady gave me 2 lollipops.
I'm not too sure where this is going,
No,
to be honest.
wait,
that one.
wait. This is where we go with the plot now.
Okay.
The kid didn't.
Yep.
What? It waited all this time and it came for him.
So that's the creative decision they made. This is why it's called The Revenge, because the shark.
It holds a grudge.
It does. The shark apparently holds a grudge against the Brody family.
For years they've been passing on this story until someone takes action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the shark realm.
and Michael Caine thought this was quite a good script.
I actually was going to ask you why they called this The Revenge, considering the others were just 2 and 3. Right, and so,
Yeah.
but now I'm glad I know.
Yeah. See, that is a kick in the nuts right there for any Jaws fan. They've basically just written Roy Scheider out of it because he had a heart attack from the fear of the shark coming back to kill more people, right? Oh, it's that hurts so much. They just got rid of one of the greatest cinematic characters of all time. Yeah, he had a heart attack. He was scared of it. It's like, this is one of my favourite scenes. I love this as well. What happens at the end of this scene is incredible. Can you? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know.
Watch. It's amazing.
Oh, I do know what happens in this. I do. Is this where he does some running?
Yeah. So basically, mid-line, off he goes. It's like he's not going anywhere. He's just going for a run. It's like they thought, you know what? Let's wrap this up, guys. Dinner's ready. Can we just, Lance, go for a run? We'll film it. We'll work it into the plot.
Yeah. Do you reckon that was just sort of an, thing they just made up on the minute? Like, I've lived it. Just thought, you know what?
I think you just read the script and just thought, you know what? I can't say these lines, so I'm just not going to say them. And he was trying to run away from the movie. That's what he was trying to do. He was like,
They kept on following him.
Yeah, that was probably the last thing they actually filmed, wasn't it? Him just running away. So I'm done with this film.
Oh, there we go.
This is the sin. This is cardinal sin, where they start to use footage of the original movie.
Have they used previous footage in the other films? Is this the first one?
Yeah, I mean, for that moment, I can semi-forgive it, but it's really trying to pull on the heartstrings to try and sell this moment of this is some big, deep loss.
So did this had quite a big budget, this film?
I think it was about 25 quid, yeah.
25 quid. It goes a long way back then.
No, I think out of all of the Jaws films, I think it did have one of the bigger budgets, but basically what happened was Sid Sheinberg basically said to Joseph Sargent, the director, said, I just need a new way to kill the shark. Mm-hmm. Do what you want with the film, don't really care. Just tell me how you're going to kill it. So they said, this is how we're going to kill it. He goes, that sounds great, go do it. And he said, well, obviously we need to start the movie in Amity Island, a logical place. And then what we'll do, we'll go to the Bahamas. Because why not? So he spent 9 months in the Bahamas. The man was a genius. If you watch his interview, he's sitting there laughing his ass off. He's like, how did we get away with this? Do you know what I mean? But basically, Sid just signed off on the budget. Went, yeah, go for it.
Was this actually? Did this make money or did it flop? Was this like it just lost money? It wasn't a box office hit.
No, it didn't win any Oscars either. Just want to point out, Mike. She said, I don't want my family anywhere near the water ever again, ever. Where is she now?
Oh yeah. I saw this actually on a YouTube video a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, she's now on a boat, and boats are on the water, aren't they?
Last time I checked, yeah.
Yeah, that's where boats, I believe, are traditionally found.
Wow. Yeah. How long do you reckon it took to write the script?
40 minutes. Maybe.
40 minutes, yeah.
40 minutes, maybe. Because I think once they figured out, I mean, like the way they sold it to Michael Caine, they sent him one version of the script where it said, we open up on the Bahamas and the sun is rising. And he's like, yeah, I'm in. Because two of his best mates have got houses on the island. They've got, I think, Sean Connery and Roger Moore both had houses in the Bahamas. And there's golf courses there. So he's like, yeah, fine, I'm in. Do you know what I mean? Oh, here we go. Your mate is here.
Oh, Michael Caine. Oh. They were all laughing and joking a minute ago. Now they're just all miserable.
Yeah, they're not very happy now, are they?
There we go.
I've done that. It's overrated.
There he is.
Michael Caine. He's never actually seen this film, ever.
Do a lot of actors, you reckon, actually watch a lot of their movies? I mean, I think Johnny Depp doesn't watch a lot of his stuff, does he?
I think what it is I've spoken to a few actors, not that many to be fair, but I've spoken to quite a few, and because they see the rushes and the dailies and stuff, they get a feeling of what it's going to be like anyway.
Right.
And because they're so busy doing the promo for the movie and then they move on to the next project, it's like, I really don't have time to watch this. I mean, they might see it at the premiere maybe, something like that. But
It must be kind of awkward to watch yourself though. Do you know what I mean? Because you might start criticising your performance. You're like, oh, I should have done that bit better. But
oh, there we go. Yeah, brilliant,
oh,
brilliant. So yeah, whole family.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Jaws the Revenge. It's over now. Oh, they all crashed.
That could have been a really short film. They could have all just died.
Could have
in a
been
plane
good.
crash, couldn't they? Yeah. Now I'm starting to understand why Joseph Sargent chose the Bahamas as the location. It's like, looks horrible, doesn't it?
Didn't you tell me a story that he won an award, Michael Caine, and he couldn't go to accept it?
Oh yeah, he won an Oscar. He won an Oscar
Right.
for, I think it was for Hannah and Her Sisters, which was a Woody Allen movie. I think it was Best Supporting Actor, and he couldn't go because he was making this.
Right.
I can't think of a better reason not to go and accept an Oscar.
Was this like a downfall of Michael Caine's career for a while after he made this, or was this?
This is his. I read his book about screen acting and stuff, and his attitude is just keep working. Just take anything that pays reasonably well and keeps you in the spotlight, or otherwise, if you're not working, you're not working. If that
I
makes
think
sense.
Christopher Walken said the same thing. I remember an interview with Christopher Walken where he sort of said that job's a job.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why, I mean, you see some of these actors doing some really questionable stuff. I mean, this is what he calls his paycheck movie. And like he's so famous, and we posted this quote a few times, but he says something along the lines of, Jaws the Revenge, I've never seen it. Apparently it's terrible, but I've seen the house that it built, and that's beautiful. And it's like, so that's exactly why he did this. Do you know what I mean? It's like, in, out, forget it, move on to the next
We
thing.
all do things we don't want to do.
But the thing is, Caine's career wasn't sort of going super well in the 80s anyway. I mean, early 80s he was making these really cliched spy movies and stuff.
Because didn't he do a movie with Steven Seagal years ago as well?
Oh, Deadly Ground. I took Dad to watch that.
Did you?
Yeah, we were basically, me and Dad, when we used to go to cinema sort of every week, we used to alternate who chose the movie, and Dad chose one that was fucking awful the week before, and I'm like, right, I'm going to get my revenge. So I said, we're going to go see On Deadly Ground with Steven Seagal and Michael Caine, and he was like, we're not going to see that. I said, yes we are, it's my turn to choose. Took him, and he huffed and puffed all the way through that film. He said it was one of the worst experiences of his life. And again, that was made probably early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, I think. You just missed that. This is a sculpture that his wife is making. It's a commission for a big opening on the State Beach later on.
Okay.
And it just happens to look like a shark's mouth, I think, with the teeth and stuff. So.
Ooh,
Chilling, isn't it?
that bit of music was, Oh, straight in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Straight in the water.
Yep, straight in the water. Swim.
Uh-oh. What was that?
Looks like she's dying.
It was just a dream?
It was a dream sequence,
Ugh.
which is one of the worst things a movie can do. It's just such a cop-out.
Do you think though, if they actually did kill her off, like the movie would have maybe taken a different turn, maybe been a bit better, because it would have been like a shock death sort of thing? Or do you?
Maybe. Welcome, Mario Van Peebles, to the movie.
Actually thinking, I once caught like this one scene on TV years ago, but I changed channel. Yeah.
What you learn, Jake? Guess what? The females have eggs. Oh, great. So just stop everything and pass out cigars now, huh? Look, we're being paid to see where they go, how they propagate. I'm trying to do it right. And if we had the decent funding, I'd study the motor system. I'd take the temperature readings. That's cool, man. We'll be able to do a decent report for a change and really give him something. You leave me alone, I'd be able to do my work. I know how to tag a damn con. Your readings suck. Maybe the tags suck. I had made them. That was I put them on, man. Obviously, you put them on wrong, Michael. No. If you were made them right, it wouldn't happen. They leak, man. To find more coke on the mountainside. You find your ass with both hands. That's not fair, man. You go away, you leave me high and dry. You want to work by myself. You come back acting like a zombie. It's Christmas Eve. We're working overtime because of you. Hey! I'm sorry about your brother.
What an emotional flip flop. It's like he didn't know about the brother at all, and then all of a sudden. But wait,
There's more.
it's a trick.
Jay. Come on, Jay, Alan. I missed you, man. Put me down.
And then he left dirty words all over the garage. He was, you know, he was kind, Jane. So, Jane. Oh, look at that face. Okay, do the other one. No, that's closer to the real truth. Oh, you. This guy was always getting into some sort of mystery.
I got no doubt about that.
Was Uncle Sean ever bad? Did you ever spank him?
What was that?
Was Uncle Sean ever bad? Did you ever spank him?
Sharpshooter, Jay.
Oh.
Hey, maybe your sex life is busy as your shirt.
What he said. I heard what he said.
Every lovely lady should have a teaspoon.
It has teapot and cups of saucer.
And a sugar bowl and a creamer.
That's a pretty horrific shirt he's actually bought him, innit? To be fair. Something Dad would wear.
Oh, dear, you know what? The Christmas carol. Oh, you stop.
There's just so much heartfelt drama in this so far.
Well, this is the thing. It tries to take its time in the right way,
Mm.
but it just gets so much wrong after this.
I want you to change.
Just so much.
Come on, Mom, please don't start that. I'm not gonna quit now.
Do you feel though, I mean, this has any sort of feel to any of the other films, the way it was directed, or even parts of it were shot?
Nope.
No?
No, not at all. There's just it's just so far from what Jaws was and what it was trying to be, and the standard it's set. And this is the problem with franchises. You focus on the wrong thing. You try to make it more elaborate and clever and complicated, or more fantastical, and then everything else around it has to be built in the same way, and you just get a completely different film. It's just like. But anyway, here you go. First glimpse of the shark. Check this out.
Can't wait. Alright.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Very rubbery.
Now the thing is, I actually did some calculations before we met today, right? The distance between Martha's Vineyard / Amity Island and the Bahamas is 1,200 miles.
Okay.
It would take 4.5 hours to get there by plane, and the shark, great white shark, can swim, say top speed 25 miles an hour. It would take 2 days for the shark to swim at maximum speed to get there. It would probably die of a heart attack. And looking at what we've just seen there, that would probably take it a year, because it was wobbling and bumbling through the water at like 4 meters a second. Right?
Oh.
There's a bit of Jaws music. So as soon as she's hit the water with her feet, the psychic connection is kicked in.
Psychic connection.
She and the shark.
Maybe the
have
shark was
psychic
on a mission from God. A bit like the Blues Brothers. Yeah?
Maybe, do you know what it is? Do you know what I think it is?
Yeah.
I reckon this is actually a love story. I reckon what it is, that is the reincarnation of Roy Scheider, and he is trying to get to Ellen, and he will swim into tropical waters to do it, because great white sharks don't go into tropical water, they just don't. But Joseph Sargent was like, well, I'm going to be in the Bahamas, so the shark should probably be here, right? Oh, there's Caine again.
Oh, he is. On his little boat. So let me just... So I was talking to you earlier, and I was going through the parents' guide to Jaws: The Revenge, and I think I read this to you anyway. But it says frightening, intense scenes. Several scenes are supposed to be frightening, but most of the time the film is so bad and the shark looks so fake, it's unintentionally funny. So
No, this is the thing. If you watch this in the right way, if you watch this as a comedy, it is one of the funniest films you'll ever see. But people were expecting Jaws. They were expecting suspense and terror, and they got this.
I mean, with the with the Jaws franchise, do you think it's just one of those films that should have just been a one-off? Or, you know, you make, okay, it was so successful, you're obviously going to make a sequel to it, but then just end it there. Because when they make a lot of sequels, like, they obviously get worse and worse as they go on.
It's an interesting point. I mean, the thing is, as a studio, it's like you've got the most successful movie of all time, or at that time, Jaws, and you think, well, if we make a sequel, it's going to make money. There's no way it couldn't, right? But the thing is, the whole premise of the movie is it should just really have been a one-off, because it's a shark.
Yeah.
It's not like an army or a villain that's going to have a cousin or a brother or a family member that you've wronged because you've killed the original person. It's like, it's an animal, it's dead. That's it. And the story wasn't actually about the shark anyway. It was about Brody and his sort of journey back to sort of being a man, all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's like perfect. It should have been a one-off. However, this is my counter argument for the sequels. All the sequels do is remind you how good Jaws was.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Have you seen any film though, like, that's not Jaws obviously, but it's like sort of shark related movie that you thought that could have been a Jaws film, or, you know, they could have, if they changed certain parts of it, you know, like referenced the islands and stuff, that it could have been like another Jaws film?
Nah, the only film I've kind of seen, because the thing is, when you look at all of these other shark movies, they're all about the shark. And that's actually,
but a lot of them are kind of ridiculous now, do you know what I mean? They're like sort of very bad B-movie, CGI movies.
Well, this is the thing, because you've got CGI and you've got all these other things going on, it's like now they're going to push what the shark can do, because obviously back in '75 the shark was physical, it was built. They didn't show a lot of it, one, to help the storytelling, but two, because genuinely they couldn't get the bloody thing to work. So you have the opposite now, where you've got CGI sharks doing all kinds of stuff. It's like, one of the movies that I actually really enjoyed was The Shallows, and I thought that was done really well. They showed quite a lot of the shark, but I thought the actual premise was interesting, but you couldn't make a Jaws movie out of it, really, because the Jaws movie original is all about the people and the characters, which is what draws people back to it. But there is one film that I love. It's not a shark movie, but I love it. I think they got the tone absolutely bang on. They didn't take it too seriously, because automatically, as soon as you do a creature movie, particularly one in water, it's going to be compared to Jaws, and that was Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, yeah. Is that Bill Pullman, right?
Bill Pullman,
yeah.
and Oliver Platt.
That's also had quite a few sequels straight after that, didn't they? Yeah.
Exactly. And this is the thing, this is kind of what happens, you know. So you coming back to that point around trying to make things more complex and spectacular and sensational to try and sell tickets doesn't always work. So
some of this is like a advert for Comes to the Bahamas.
It basically is, to be honest with you.
So do you think with today's audiences, do you think that Jaws would be as big a success as it was the first film when it was first released? I mean, do you think like shark attack movies, if they made like it sort of now, would the audience?
What if no other movie had been made like that before?
Well, I mean, because the films today just seem so saturated of comic book movies, you know, all the Marvel universe and stuff like that. But do you think something like this would have a big impact? I mean, do you think kids would go and see a film about a shark that attacks people, or stuff like that?
If Jaws hadn't been made before, and no other shark movies had been made or sort of really capitalised on in this way, Jesus Christ, look at
there
this.
We go.
It's like a turd, isn't it? Look at it. Oh my God. It's just... And it just happens to know where Michael is. And there's psychic Nan kicking in again.
Oh wow! It's a bit like Superman 4, isn't it? Where the effects are worse than the first film.
It's like, see, look. I'm telling you, this is the reincarnation of Chief Brody, and he's just trying to get back to Ellen. This is a love story. That's what this is. I'm telling you.
Where did the blood come from?
No idea.
Maybe he cut his tooth or something. He's like, man.
It was that wood bleeds. That's what happens. Oh my god. And so she tries to just get on with her life by dancing.
Yeah.
To be fair, she was a bit of a fox in this movie. She was
Do you reckon?
getting older, but yeah, she was a bit of a fox. And then Michael Caine busted.
Well, he's got some moves.
Greatest line in cinema history. Sharks come and go. Michael Caine, Oscar winner, actually said that. Mate, I told you this movie was gold.
He looks already really tired.
Probably like golf he's been playing with Sean Connery and Roger Moore, isn't it? This is... I don't know if Joseph Sargent's a genius or he's just an absolute piss taker. I can't tell. But...
Well, if he's going to deliver the ending that he promised, I suppose you can just do what you want.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. See, Joseph Sargent, he doesn't take credit for the idea, but he takes responsibility. I'm just looking back through my notes. Joseph Sargent said, "How do grown men with great credentials get involved in something so idiotic?" He knew what he was doing. Let's kill this franchise. This is like the Batman and Robin of Jaws movies. That's what this is.
Oh. This film's actually kind of boring at the same time. There's a few moments in it, but otherwise it's just like chatting that no one gives a shit about. It's just, that's to be so far. I'm waiting for it to kick off, obviously.
Well, I think they're all just having a great time in the Bahamas, aren't they?
It's like, not going to fight me in for some coffee.
That looked pretty close to reasonable acting there, didn't it?
It did.
At that moment there. Oh dear. Oh no, Michael. Don't worry, you've got an Oscar to look forward to, mate. Don't worry. Not for this film, mate. So, a little bit more family stuff going on. I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to develop these characters so you care about them. But because the premise is so ridiculous, you just don't care, do you? I mean, right now, all those people sat at the table, who do you want to get eaten the most? Because they're all kind of guilty, aren't they, just for signing up for the film.
You're gonna meet all the strangers out.
I knew a one-armed piano player once. Took 2 minutes to play a minute waltz.
I have actually used that joke and it's gone down pretty well.
No job talk, you promised. You promised.
Right. Would you miss the dance with me, Madam?
Pretty sorry.
So will you. I have 2 right feet.
But that's perfect.
I was just reading. Sorry, I was a bit quiet. I was just reading that the shark roars like a lion.
Don't read any more,
Okay.
because you will ruin this film for yourself.
Oh,
because
okay.
that is one of the greatest moments. It's like, up until then you're thinking, well, this is beyond the realms of plausibility anyway. And then it does that and you're like, okay, they've really gone too far now. Do you know what I mean?
It's my party.
This man, because he decided to count them down, can't do his sleep, you know. Excuse me.
You see a massive shot of the boom in a minute. I think it lands in their head. Just the top. Oh, they cropped it.
Be a better place if all sons danced with their mothers.
Yeah, they've cropped it. In an unedited version, the boom comes flying into that sea like really, really close. It's just terrible.
Didn't get something you wanted. I like him. I enjoy his company.
So you would say that the Jaws franchise actually probably goes in order of release? Would you say from like best to worst?
There's a massive debate around 3 and 4.
Okay.
Massive debate. I mean, people absolutely slate Jaws 3. I mean, a lot of people say that Jaws 3 is worse
Really?
than Jaws 4. But I would actually argue, yeah, it's got to be, they get progressively worse, like, as the franchise goes on. I mean, at least Jaws 3, they kind of tried. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
And it was 3D.
And it
So,
was 3D.
yeah. 'Cause
And
that
it
was a big thing back then, wasn't it, for a while?
It was.
I feel like it was... A few years ago, they tried to bring back 3D, and it
Yeah,
sort of
they-
failed again. Sort of hasn't really taken off.
I don't know,
as well.
3D is getting better, but I mean, this is one of the things that I'm worried about. Like, are they going to try and 3D Jaws? Like, if they did that, I think
Right.
I'd ruin it. I think it's the ultimate 2D experience. I
Will
don't
they
know
make
how I
it?
feel
Would
about
you, if they remade it though, and they made it a CGI shark, would that annoy you more? Because I actually quite like the thing about 70s, 80s, and all that. I like practical effects,
it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of
and
those.
I think if they did something like that and made like a shark that was CGI, I think it would sort of
What I'd like to see is, because I mean, the technology that they use in Deep Blue Sea for some of those animatronic sharks was actually pretty impressive for the
Okay.
time. The CGI in that movie was terrible, but the practical stuff was really good. So I'd be like, let's commit to a fully practical shark, and let's build Bruce again, but with today's technology, and let's see what we can do with this. I'd like to see that. I
Right.
think that would be really cool. I mean, there was also talk about, because obviously they're bringing back James Dean and stuff.
Oh
he's doing
yes,
like a
I read
CGI
that.
thing.
Yeah.
And we asked our sort of Twitter followers and Instagram and Facebook and all that, like, if you could bring back any one of the Jaws actors to maybe reprise a role in, say, a Jaws spin-off or whatever it is, who would you bring back if you could use the technology? And everyone was like, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just leave it as it is. If you're going to remake it, reboot it or whatever, that's fine, but do it completely different. Don't try and bring anybody back. But I think, like, they, depending on when it's set, I think they might try and bring back like a really old Brody or possibly an old Hooper, maybe, I guess. But I know they could probably do it with Dreyfus for real. But Dreyfus said he'd never play the part again, which I don't believe. I think he would. I think he would if he was offered the right money, because he's pretty broke right now, apparently.
Has any of the other cast from the originals seen the sequels, and have they like said any opinions like regarding the films?
Spielberg and Dreyfus were approached to be involved in Jaws 2. I think Dreyfus was committed to something else, and Spielberg didn't really want to do it. He doesn't really do sequels.
Dreyfus, didn't he do like a sort of nod to it in Piranha at the
Yeah.
beginning of? I think it was the remake of
Piranha
Piranha
3D, yeah.
Yeah, the remake of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was singing "Show Me the Way to Go Home" in the boat while
Yeah.
he was fishing, and also in Jaws 2 there was a conversation between. Oh no, it was a message. That's right. Matt Hooper left a message with the Brody household during Jaws 2, and basically sort of asked Martin to call him back, because Martin had phoned him to say, look, we've probably got another shark problem here, just to see if he could help. But by that time he was out on the Aurora for 18 months, 2 years, so he couldn't come back, but he was trying to help. So they were trying to connect the two movies together rather than just being sort of like a sequel for the sake of a sequel kind of thing. But the Jaws 3 was written by Carl Gottlieb and directed by Joe Alves. Joe Alves was the guy that built the shark and was production designer and all that sort of stuff in the first two. So again, it kind of had that Jaws connection in terms of the franchise and the attitude and the mindset. They just wanted to try and take it in a different direction. This one, though, is still Universal, but brand new crew, completely different.
How many sharks did they build for this? Just the one, or was there a few of them?
I think there's about four.
4 sharks.
And they built full sharks, right to left sharks, and they also built part sharks as well. There's a real horrific shot of a shark fin later on where it is literally just a shark fin being dragged through the water.
Yes.
It's so annoying. It's just really sloppy filmmaking. But they had problems with the shark here in the clear water. Because it was clear water, you could see all the details on the shark, as you've already seen in that really crappy shot. Other fish would attack the shark, so you can see where they've had to stitch it back up again. It's that bad. But yeah, I mean, in answer to your question, I'd be really interested to see a practical remake of Bruce now, just see how that would work. But yeah, no real CGI. If it could be helped, it just doesn't look as real.
What's wrong? Why should there be anything wrong? I'm sitting around the house enjoying my day off. My wife starts yelling at me about the garbage.
So this does still feel like a bit of an soap opera, doesn't it, at this moment?
Yeah,
It's
that's why I was saying it's.
What the hell are we arguing about?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I was sort of saying earlier. Like it's not really gripping me very well because it just seems that not a lot has happened. You've got like a few little moments.
Well, this is the thing, we're 45 minutes in, and we've had one shark attack, and another one that was a dream sequence, whereas by now in Jaws you've had maybe 3 shark attacks, but with all that character stuff built in as well, and here it's just like, what's going on? Like, why isn't the movie moving faster than this? Because we've seen the shark for maybe 2 seconds. Just, yeah, not a huge amount really going on, is there, to be honest?
Do you know of any fan edits of this? Like, do you know if anyone's actually...
Like the exploitation cut and stuff like that of the original?
Do you reckon someone's tried to chop it up, clean up a bit?
I don't know. Oh god, I remember this bit now. I'm just going to let you watch this and take this in.
Okay, cool. Looks ready for action now. Oh. Okie dokie.
It's just so bad, isn't it? It's just so bad. But it gets worse, mate.
I just love that guy's just so unfazed.
Look how far out of the water that is. Honestly. Never in the history of... I mean, sharks don't re-enter that water at that angle. Do they? Never in the history of recorded human history.
By the way, it
As a
just
shark
flops
ever done
down
that.
as well. Just does it all.
Oh my god. This is just a guide on how not to make a Jaws film, isn't it?
Burlington, Vermont.
And now we're back to Jaws the soap opera.
Flew around to New York. Oh, I have a family. My left foot hasn't thawed yet. When I was a small boy,
That
I
is
dreamed,
not hard to imagine, by the way.
I dreamed of always being warm. What do you want?
Where were you last time?
Two Bahamas, please.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do a video on the recipe for that.
That was actually a recipe.
Yeah, it's not made up drink, it's real.
It's just hot down, please.
Actually, hang on, let me find out what the recipe is now.
I see a lot of ladies would be glad to go.
Yeah, they're on, but I've grown tired of one-way conversations.
Ooh.
I have an irresistible urge to kiss you, Ellen Brody,
Oh. Ooh.
because it would not occur to you why. Blushing suits you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
No, this whole thing. Oh, that is preposterous. You sure you don't need glasses?
I'm a pilot. My vision is perfect.
That sneaky devil
Oh.
sliding into the
Oh.
DMs. That's Mrs. Brody, mate. Martin forever. Team Martin.
Keep up with that damn shop. Sure you got the front open, man. Why don't... Come on, you overgrown goldfish. Come down the jig. How long have you done hogging? What? How long have you done hogging?
There's not a lot of boats about, is there?
No, for the Bahamas, there's surprisingly little water.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was thinking, it's one boat.
Yep.
Hogging. Christ, man. What the hell was this here? That's all. What do you know about it? Be back to my mother.
Yep.
Maybe your gear crapped out. Maybe you crapped out fucking minutes about hoagie.
Do you reckon this was just like the draft? You know, there was no rewrites. They just wrote it and it was like, we'll do.
Yeah, we're going to miss the plane to the Bahamas, guys. Let's put us out yet.
So actually, you know what? We're gonna write it on the plane to the Bahamas. That's what's okay. Yeah, sure. Let's just do that. Okay, I've got a great idea. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, got a great idea. If a shark has a vendetta. Okay. After Mrs. Brody. Okay. This is sounding great.
So whatever happens next,
And we'll make it sort of part daytime TV drama.
I don't even know if he's serious.
give it some time, Ellen, and see what happens.
Well, part of me wanted to go off with him.
Ooh.
I couldn't.
How long is it supposed to have been
I
since
don't know why he wants me.
the husband had passed away?
I'm not entirely sure, actually.
I don't know what he thinks. I don't know what I think. I don't know why we're even talking about this. This is so silly. I mean, I feel too old to be in this thing.
I hope not, and I am getting a long, happy sex life. You said it wasn't polite to interrupt people.
Yes, I did.
It's time for tea, Grandma.
Oh, I almost forgot.
I didn't. I put everything in my room. My teddy bear is joining us.
That was some of the edited stuff that they slipped into the Sean Brody attack.
Right, okay. Do you think this is the one that sort of sparked sort of the more ridiculous like Sharknado sort of B-movie stuff was like sort of inspiration?
No, I don't think so. I think because this was just so bad, I think everyone felt that the Shark movie was kind of dead at this point. So I think that a lot of people kind of just waited and bided their time. I think there were some interesting ideas. I mean, Sharknado was definitely, the most outrageous of them all, and the fact that there was just a TV network like Sci-Fi that would pick it up. it's just good timing. I think, but once people did this, it's like just leave the shark films alone. That's dead for now.
Do you think though they're making films like Sharknado and the other sort of B movies? I can't. Do you reckon it brought people back to this material to watch the original 4 Jaws?
I'm not sure. It's difficult to answer that question, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think a lot of people take a lot of different things from different movies. I mean, it might have inspired some filmmakers and stuff to have a bash at writing this, because obviously, you know, this 6-year-old I think has written this script, so I'll probably just think of this script and watch this. This is a Christmas movie, by the way. Just wanted to. Well,
apparently
it's not the best Christmas movie ever made. But do you remember this from the original Jaws? I know it's been a while since you've seen it. But there's a bit where Sean Brody and Martin Brody.
I do remember this bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it flashed up very briefly during the funeral scene, and she was watching that, and they're trying to just recreate this scene, and it's
sort of give it a nod.
It's basically, yeah, and I don't know. This is the thing, it tries to pull at the heartstrings a little bit, and it annoys me because it's using moments from Jaws to try and pull us back into that world a little bit, and I'm just like, take something new that's been done, try and do something new with it, but not something crazy ridiculous like a shark with a psychic connection.
Didn't they do that in like Friday the 13th? I swear that was in one of them.
Honestly, I just don't know. I might tweet my Brody theory about how it's the reincarnation of
It would
Martin.
be kind of cool if the shark had a Jason mask on. Just sort of.
It wouldn't surprise me. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if that.
When they were writing this, do you think they just all they'd originally done is like planned out the shark attacks? Okay, we're gonna have this is gonna happen. The shark's gonna do this and this, and then we're just gonna write a story around it.
I think they worked. I think they didn't even think that. Look, what's he doing? He's singing the Jaws theme to Michael Brody in a Jaws movie. You knew. Now you know they're taking the piss. It's like, yeah, do what you want, Mario. Do what you want. Yeah, sing it. Who cares? Although this is actually one of the more exciting sequences in the movie.
Okay.
This is actually kudos to this. This is actually shot quite well, but it's ridiculous, but it's shot pretty well. Oh, I've just tweeted a poll. Look at that! Oh my god, you missed it. Look, you can see the mechanism of the shark and everything. Did you see it? Oh man. That's the least lethal shark I've ever seen in my life. Crazy, right? This is the problem with filming in the Bahamas. The water's too clear, and look, they nearly broke the shark. Did you see that? The submarine smashed into it.
Every time I see the shark, though, I just think of it more as a cartoon shark than
It's-
anything. Like, I can't
It's ridiculous.
sort of take
See,
it
that's
seriously.
Martin Brody. He just wants to catch up with his son. This is what's happening in this film. I'm telling you. That's the theory. I'm going to tweet that later. That's my new theory on Jaws. Jaws the Revenge. I actually just tweeted a poll about Hoagie and Martin Brody. It's like, you know, is this the ultimate Jaws betrayal? You know, like Hoagie trying to slip into the DMs or what? So we're going to see what happens with that poll.
Sure, this isn't a Roger Corman film.
What happens next? You're safe, you're in a ship, don't worry, mate. Oh, no, you're not. And the shark follows him into the wreck of the boat. Which is just... We're pushing it now, boys. We're pushing the realms of plausibility.
It's a good thing there's a big enough gap.
Look, but how's it going to get out? It
It's
can't
going to
turn around.
reverse. The shark is reversing.
Yes, look. Look. Oh, God. And then, what happens next? So the shark was there. Brody has fallen down maybe a deck or two,
Yeah.
and the shark had nowhere to go. Remember that. This is actually probably my favourite shot in the movie. And suddenly the shark is there.
With the animatronics.
You could
just
see
sort of
the track, you could see
Yeah.
everything there. That's the thing that ruins that shot. But the actual breaking through of the wood and the smashing into the ladder
Yeah.
and stuff, I actually think that's quite a good shot, to be fair. That's probably my favourite shot in the whole movie. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. And that's a really dangerous stunt that guy's just done, by the way. Launching up there because it'll burst your lungs. So again, he's indestructible. How is Michael? How do you think he's doing?
Hey, what you doing, man? Stop. No one goes to the water, you know that fish is. All to work to get right back on your own right again. What crap you talking? Okay? Fall off a horse, man. Anybody's supposed to go back in the water. Jake, I'm moving down. Alright, so, what about Carla's gig? It's almost time, eh?
Oh, this is the day that the Carla's sculpture is going to be unveiled on the state beach.
Okay.
The shark may or may not know that's happening.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, maybe I read the script.
What's my motivation here? You're a killer shark, you've travelled a long way, see your family. You want to be involved? Oh, God.
Could have called someone, you know, to help them out. Maybe stop going in the water.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you know, what's the most effective way to get away from a shark? Stay on the land.
Yeah, yeah.
But these characters are doing everything they possibly can
To
to
go back
get
in the
into
water.
What can we do to make sure that people are in the water, even though the easiest thing to do is to stay on the land? We'll make him a marine biologist. Genius.
Everything's cool. Yeah, I'm thinking about yesterday. It's probably all a mistake. You just hungry. You got that tasty look. Yeah, I can only meat though, you know. And you just like white meat. It's pretty good, Jake.
Oh, we've had 47 votes on the poll so far. 66% are in favour of Team Martin. Only 33% in favour of Team Hoagie. And I've actually tagged Michael Caine. So who knows? He may, if he's got a spare moment, he might come back to us.
Imagine the actors and actresses when they got the script for this and they were telling everyone they're going to be in the new Jaws film.
Yep, they must have been
you
so
know,
excited.
oh my, I'm in the new Jaws film, it's going to be amazing. And then it came out.
This is the thing, I think like whenever people go into making a movie, they don't go into it with bad intentions, they just get carried away. Look at this. Look at this shot of the fin. It's just the fin being pulled through the water. There's no shark body there at all, and that infuriates me. It's like, it's just so lazy. And you're going to see, it makes me want to cry. It's just like, yeah, that'll do, cut. It's like Ed Wood's directed this, that's what's happened. This is fantastic, watch this. Watch the lady at the end. Oh God. Watch this. Watch.
Oh.
This is technically a self-inflicted shark attack. She actually put her leg into its mouth. Oh God. And it's gone in that way. The shark has gone in perpendicular, like, how? I mean, some great reactions there from the beach, and that's not a bad shot either, that's pretty cool. But see how it's attacked the exact right banana boat that a member of the Brody family is on. Such a fake shark fin, oh my God.
It's a clever shot.
God. If I ever get a chance to speak to Steven Spielberg, I will ask him about this movie and go, did you okay this? Did you think this was okay? And suddenly she can just drive a boat.
Yeah, I was literally thinking to myself, they just had a shark attack.
Yep.
So she's just jumped on a boat to like go out into the water.
Yep, that's right, mate.
Where have you been? It was attacked by a shark. Doctor says she should be alright. She's in shock.
It had a knife.
I'm so sorry she didn't know. She
Should have known what.
That we were going to make this.
we try and keep track. Sure.
Shock? You knew?
Found my way. Came after me yesterday.
She could have been killed. You knew? And you didn't tell us? You let your mother think August? How could you do that?
Where's my mother?
Your own daughter?
Where is my mother?
Why didn't you tell us? Where's Jake? Why didn't you tell us?
He's off for a run again.
It's a good thing you had to practice earlier, isn't
He
it?
did, yeah. Oh my word. There we go. Shark versus plane.
Yeah. I will look for you, I will find you, and I will kill you.
Oh God, he's bought into it. Michael, don't. Shark didn't kill Martin. You certainly don't read scripts, do you? That's for sure.
Oh, she's still on that boat.
Yeah. You can see how they got two different types of weather at the front and the back of the boat. It's like they just didn't know the word continuity. No one called anything out. It's like, yeah, that's look. I do like that line actually. That's pretty good. Oh, fin cam. There we go.
Well, here it is.
It's Martin, it's your husband. Come on. Reincarnation, right? Yeah. Now, to be fair, I know a pilot, and he said this is a very, very good stunt. Oh my God. Even though the shark didn't actually touch the boat, it smashed up at the back. I don't know if you saw that. There you go. This is a good stunt, this. I love it. And that's just the crew with the hose at the front of the plane. Just so it looks like they've kind of just landed on water.
I think the problem I'm having with this film.
Hold that thought, because, and I'm interested to hear you've only got one problem with this film, but Michael Caine is about to give one of the greatest reactions ever on film, ever. Okay? Bearing in mind this man has studied the method and all of those other things behind great acting.
Well, he's a fine British actor.
He's an Oscar winner. Isn't that just like, if Michael Caine is remembered for one thing, please let it just be that moment.
Oh,
Oh, shit. I love it. I love it so much.
Why'd you come out here?
Why'd you come out here? Why did you keep the boat? You realize what you were doing?
so yeah. The problem I have with this film is that it's a bad film, but it's not like a really enjoyable bad film. Do you know when you watch these movies that are so bad they're good? This is just bad. And even the bits that are slightly good. Oh,
Wait, you're about to see one of the greatest continuity errors in the history of cinema, right? What'd you notice?
oh, look, he's all dry.
He
Anyways.
is bone dry. he's just been pulled out of the water and he is bone dry. Michael Caine's excuse was that the setups on the shots took so long that he dried out. That's fine. Get a bucket of water and just throw it over him. That's all you need to do to solve that problem. That's how lazy they were in this
I
film.
mean, they are in water as well.
I mean, it's like he's dried out from the moment he's got up the ladder. It's like, how hot is it there? Is it like the sun? Oh, I love it. This is why you can watch this film and just think this is just the greatest comedy
I don't
ever
know
made.
if I would rewatch this film though.
I've watched it a few times.
Oh, I don't know if I could rewatch it.
It just gets better every time you watch it. You just got to watch it the right way.
Oh. I think also part of it is because it's sort of trying to be quite serious.
This is the thing. It's trying to
Yeah.
take a ridiculous premise and make something credible out of it. By the way, what they've done here, I think you missed that bit. They're basically rigging up an electromagnetic device
Okay.
that will shock the shark. This doesn't exist. This is a device they've just made up, and they've managed to knock one up on the boat really quick. What happened to a harpoon? What was wrong with that? Do you know what I mean? Or just, but they're going to have some very, yep, great. So, there you go. That's it.
You withdrawing your peers crap out of here. That's cool, man. My equipment don't crap out.
Did anybody from the original films, were they involved in this? Was it? But you said it was all. Everyone was completely
I think
new.
it was brand new. None of the writers, actors, apart from obviously Lorraine Gary,
Right.
everything else was brand new. Oh God. Now I'm actually quite interested to see which ending this has got in terms of the death of the shark, because if it's the good one, then great. If it's the incoherent mess, I'm kind of looking forward
So
to
have they
that.
released it with two different endings before then? Or
Yeah,
is it...
pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, I've watched this movie with friends before, and I've watched it with the really messy ending, and they're like, so what just happened? And I'm like, no one knows. It's just, no one actually knows. God. That's right, Michael. It's balancing on its tail.
Uh-oh.
I love how Michael Caine just decides to underplay that moment completely and just, I'm not going to get involved in this ridiculousness. Look at that.
That was the moment he realised they were coming to the end of the shoot.
And that's pretty blatantly a stunt double.
Yeah, I was
I
about to
don't
say.
even know if he was black. Right. So note this. After everything that's just happened, he's lost his brother. The shark has attacked his daughter. Now he's pissed.
It'll work. Jake says it'll work, it'll work. This kind of charge will drive him crazy.
Wow, that seems very stock sort of footage.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Now the cardinal sins are starting to happen again. I don't mind them using footage from their own movie. But, oh man. What's about to happen is... There you go. They're using this footage from the end of the original movie. Oh my god. This is just... You can almost forgive Jaws the Revenge for everything except that. Except that. Wait. That's a roar, Mike. It's starting to roar. Yeah, look at it. Look at it. Oh, God. Oh, gee, they even used... Look, that's the messy ending, look.
So that was the messy ending?
That was the messy ending.
Right.
And look, they actually used footage that's from the original movie as well, with the shark falling to the water, to the bottom of the ocean. So basically, you ram a shark, and apparently they explode. Now this bit is really funny because if you look at the back, that's a matte painting.
Yeah.
This is a tank. They've dyed the water blue, so it matches the Bahamas, and it turned everyone's hair and everything blue. It's fantastic, and somehow he lived because the audiences they were so upset at Jake dying. Bearing in mind they've just watched just the worst film ever made. They did this again, so he lived. Oh my god!
So really, how many deaths are in this?
I think maybe 3 or 4, not many.
So is this probably the least?
In terms of body count, yeah, it probably is the least, yeah. So I think what they tried to do, because quite a few people died in like the SeaWorld one, in Jaws 3 and 2, but I think the movies probably average 5 or 6 maybe per film, otherwise it gets a bit ridiculous.
No, after this film.
I don't think anyone's career recovered after this, apart from Michael Caine.
This was her last film, apparently.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a pretty abrupt ending.
Yeah, it sort of just happened.
It did, didn't it? It kind of just... So that was Jaws of Revenge, Mike. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, I won't be in a hurry to rewatch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm
ready to go again.
Because it's shit, to be
Okay, now to be fair, you are like, you know, you're my go-to when it comes to bad movies. Now, you looked up on MSN earlier the worst 100 movies of all time, and Jaws the Revenge was number 17. Do you think that's fair? I mean, where would you put this in terms of the bad movies that you've seen?
See, the problem with that list, though, as I was saying, some of the movies that were in that, I didn't actually think some of them were that bad. Because a lot of bad movies I like, which I said, is like they're enjoyable bad. Do you know what I mean? They're sort of, there's like a charm to them that you would re-watch them again. But this film, I was just like, there was nothing really that I was like, I really need to go back and re-watch. I mean, there's stupid bits, but I'll literally just watch it on YouTube.
This is the thing. You can watch the highlight clips of it on YouTube and go, this is a ridiculous movie, but you never need to sit through the whole thing again.
Because, the shark's in it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you add it all together, maybe less than that. And
this is the thing, it's like in the original movie, the shark was only in it for 4 minutes, but the way they did it was just so different and so much better than this.
Yeah.
So it's like, like I said, this is like Jaws the Revenge, aka how not to make a Jaws film. Do you know what I mean?
It sort of just felt like a family drama, and then they just stuck a psycho shark in it.
It did, didn't it? It just felt like the shark was kind of, is there? But the thing is, like I say, my theory, if you think that the shark is the reincarnation of Martin Brody, it explains everything.
Right.
Everything. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I see where you're going. I just think that...
It's a more believable premise than it just rocking up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was just... I don't know, just no one... I didn't... Apart from the woman getting eaten at the beach, I didn't really remember a lot of people dying. Some guy got his arm ripped off.
Yeah, so there's Sean Brody. There was the banana boat woman who self-inflicted shark attack.
Yeah, and then the other two survived.
Yeah.
Michael Caine survived.
Jake survived.
Oh shit! And then you had Mario Van Pel's dad. He lived.
He survived
because they brought him back. So yeah,
that's pretty much it. So yeah, so in terms of tension, dramatic impacts, all that kind of stuff, I think it's pretty close to say it's a.
I have to be honest. If I didn't care if they sort of died or not.
Yeah.
I just thought, they chose to go back in the water.
That's the thing. It's like, all you need to do is just stay indoors.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. They should have called it "Stay Indoors: The Revenge." That's what they should have done. Because you don't have to go anywhere near the water. And what do? We're going to go on a boat. We're going to go diving. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Okay. Can you see the problem there?
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't really get into it. I was hoping for a little bit more.
Well, everybody was, Mike. I think everybody involved was hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I was reading through some quotes, and Richard Dreyfuss, when he was first asked to do the original Jaws, he said, this was a movie I'd rather watch than make because it's going to be a bitch to make. To be honest with you, I think it's completely the opposite with Jaws the Revenge. I would love to have made that film because it looked like they were just having a great time in the Bahamas, not really caring about the movie, rather than watch it ever again.
Yeah, I probably won't watch this again for a very long time. Like, there was just nothing that I sort of... It felt, for the running time, it felt really, really stretched. Like a chore to get through. Yeah. And when they were doing without the shark attack scenes, I just didn't give a shit. Like, they were just... I didn't care what the story was. Yeah. Like, I honestly didn't care. And I was actually hoping that the Mrs. Brody would just die.
Well, this is the thing. The thing is, because the thing is, it's like with the shark. Obviously, the original conversation with Sid Sheinberg was like, just find a new way to kill the shark. Yeah. They've obviously got that, and they've just kind of worked backwards in terms of just trying to sew in a plot somewhere. Because the original version of that is the shark gets impaled, and then you see an upright shot of the shark, and it's rocking its head back and forth, and blood's coming out, and it reminds me of sort of Godzilla kind of thing. It's pretty cool. And then the front of the boat breaks off, and then you see it sink, and it comes towards the camera. So you see the front half of the boat stuck in the shark, and it sinks. And I'm like, actually, that's pretty well executed and a pretty spectacular ending. That, in terms of just all of that explosion and everything, you're just like, what the actual hell? Like, really?
I'm sort of surprised though that they've actually the edition we've got actually still chooses to use that ending. Do you know what I mean? If there's two endings to it, you'd think they would have purposely chose the better ending, and the other one would be like a deleted scene or something. So I'm a bit surprised that that version of that ending is still out there. I would have thought it would just been a...
Well, I'll show you some of the models that they used for that mess of an ending. Some of them are just, I mean, literally like they've been knocked up in 5 minutes by the prop department and just put something together.
So which one was the original ending? The one that we saw, or the...
Jake dies, and the shark sinks to the bottom with the boat stuck in it. I'll try and find that on YouTube. I'll show it to you.
Okay, so
but
is
for
that
me-
is that on another edition of DVDs? Or?
I think it is. I'm not sure which one it is. This is just the three. This is the Jaws 2, 3, and 4
Right.
box edition. So I think if you were to buy them, say separately, you'd probably have an option, or at least an alternative ending option, or maybe deleted scenes and stuff. But yeah, because I was kind of hoping that this version was going to be the other version, but I can show you that later. Anyway, Michael, thank you so much for joining us
No,
on
thank
the
you.
Daily Jaws. So again, tell us about your page.
Oh yeah, it's DVD OCD, and I just basically post bad B movies that I've watched.
And you're on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm just on Instagram.
Just Instagram. So
Yeah,
if they look up OCD DVD, is it? Or DVD OCD?
DVD OCD.
DVD OCD.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so please look up DVD OCD. That's my cousin Mike, who's joined us on the commentary / podcast today. Please check out the website, dailyjaws.com. Loads of blogs and news articles on there. Also some stuff around Jaws the Revenge. If you enjoyed this commentary, please let us know. Give us some feedback, and we'll do some more. Okay, we'll speak to you again soon. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Please consider liking, commenting and sharing the video, subscribing to the channel and clicking those all important notifications. For more great Jaws content, visit thedailyjaws.com.